Welcome everybody, this is week 3 of Beheshtion online worship. I don't know what sort of week that you've had, but it's been a very strange week and I'm sure it's felt strange for you too. One thing that's been very unusual for me is having so much time to do things that I wouldn't normally be able to do. Time to be with myself. I've been on my own a lot. I've spent a lot of time alone this week. There's been some positives. I've been able to spend time on the telephone, on FaceTime, talking to my family and people that I love and, sharing more conversations with them. That's been very positive. It's also been negative because I've had, more discussions with them about the things that are concerning them and what's worrying them. And that's caused me a little bit of anxiety as well. When I know people are alone and they think they haven't got the help that they need. I've spent more time online. Again, it's been quite positive, doing some meetings online with colleagues in other areas that I've been involved with. That's been very useful. But there's lots of negative stuff online as well. And some of the things that I've read online and, the things that I've surfed around on have not been particularly helpful. There's lots of fake news out there and there's lots of unhelpful information that isn't necessarily true. I've also had a lot of time with the TV. Again, that can be quite helpful if you're catching up on information and you need to know important things, messages that need to be passed on to us, to all of us. But it's not very helpful to be watching the death count and, surfing around to see how many more have died in which country. That can be very worrying and very concerning, and that can have a very negative effect on your mind. My mind has led me to moments of panic this week. I'll admit that to you. When I've imagined this virus that we see the image of every time we turn on our TV, whose sole purpose is to spread amongst the community, to jump from person to person, to replicate itself in our bodies, which it wants to be its host. That can be a very worrying thing, and I've had to take control of my mind. And having so much time to think, I've had to really exert some self-discipline to stop my mind from going to that place and imagining what the outcome of that virus in my body could do. But time has given me space for my mind to go somewhere else too. Not the fear of a future I can't know, but the remembrance of a past and an experience and a now that I do know. The reality of a permanence that can never be changed and can never be taken away. The memories of protection and safety and deliverance which I've known in the past and which I'm confident I will continue to know now and into the future. There've been times when I thought that surely this was the end, but in reality it was actually the new beginning. The times when I felt the most powerless, I've come to realise were the times when I'm actually the most powerful. Because it's when I come to the end of my own strength that I start to rely on God's strength. And that's when his power becomes the most visible in my life. Christ spoke to the Apostle Paul through the realm of the Spirit and said, "My strength is made perfect in your weakness." And Christ is still saying that to us today. When we're out of control, we can have complete confidence that our God is in control. The words of Christ are still speaking to us today. They echo down through the generations, down through the ages. They speak into our hearts and our minds and our spirits. And he says to us that his blessings come into our life. The kingdom of heaven comes to earth because the kingdom of heaven is within us. It's not far away that we can't find it, that it's a big distance and a big gulf between us. The kingdom of heaven is within us. The blessings of heaven are within us. We are not alone. We have Christ with us. So don't spread what's on your hands. Wash them. But spread what's in your heart. Spread what's in your life. Let this life of Christ be replicated in you. Let that spirit be replicated and spread silently throughout the community. Let your peace and let your love and let your acts of compassion grow and multiply and spread everywhere around you go. because that's what the kingdom of heaven is. That's what the kingdom of heaven looks like. And when we do that, when we allow that to happen through our lives, that's when the church grows. That's when Christ becomes visible amongst us. And that's when we know peace. And that's where there's no fear, there's no darkness, but life and joy and strength and wisdom and community. Let's remind ourselves of that protection that Christ gives us with part of the prayer of St. Patrick. I arise today through God's strength to pilot me, God's might to uphold me, God's wisdom to guide me, God's eye to look before me, God's ear to hear me, God's word to speak to me, God's hand to guard me, God's way to lie before me, God's shield to protect me, God's host to secure me, against snares of devils, against temptations of vices, against inclinations of nature, against everyone who shall wish me ill, afar and anear, alone and in a crowd. So let's say this together. Christ with me, Christ above me, Christ beneath me, Christ in front of me, Christ behind me, Christ to my right, Christ to my left. There's nowhere I can go that Christ isn't there. Christ is everywhere. He's in the mouth of everybody who speaks about me. He's in the ears of everybody who hears my voice. Christ is everywhere. He's above me, he's behind me, he's below me, he's surrounding me, and he's surrounding you too. This is what we need to spread. This is the message that we've got. This is what we need to be contagious. That Christ is with us. Hope be my anthem. Hope be our anthem. Lord, when the world has fallen quiet, we look to you. We trust in you. We put our hope and our confidence in you. You are our God. You are our peace. You are our joy. You are our deliverance. Hope be my anthem. Hope be my song.
Before me, Christ behind me,